150.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is, I believe, 20th of August, 2024. It's 11 a.m. Central European Time. We are back yet again with another morning show. And not only do we have the morning show, in about 2 hours, we're also going to go live and be reviewing Tok AI, T-O-K-A-I, which is a little bit like TikTok, but on the blockchain, on the Solana network. So we're going to be reviewing that at about 1 p.m. Central European Time. That is the plan. So we have what appears to be a minor disturbance in the force. Bitcoin appears to be up nearly 4% in the last 24 hours at 60,800. We're going to talk about that and why that's not necessarily a new dawn. It can be a false dawn. We're going to talk about Kamala Harris. She's the title of the show today. Now, let's see if we can get this one right. Kama Kalaze. That's the title of the show today. Good morning, Chevo. I hope you are well. I am going to take a look at DYDX at the end when we get to the Q&A, and I'm going to see what I can find out about it. So also on top of that, as well as talking about Kamala Harris, we're going to look at Bitcoin staking. Is that possible? What's happening to Matic on the 4th of September? ADA dropping out of the top 10 cryptocurrencies. Link, what's happening with Link? And 30 trillion in real world assets. What is that about? Well, you'll have to wait and see. Now, just for the record and full disclosure, I did say yesterday two things that I was going to do. One was I was going to check dogs, which I have done. You need to claim it through the Telegram app. I have gone and I've had a look to see what you have to do. You have to do a few missions. You'll be able to claim some dogs and submit it to the exchanges. Now, if you are on one of the exchanges that we stream on, you can deposit your dogs to that exchange. And in doing so, you can, in some instances, get some prizes. So make sure that if you do get dogs on Telegram to send it to the exchange that you are currently watching us on. The second thing was I told you that Ondo was incredibly cheap. So I went and bought another bag of Ondo last night. I think my average is now about 90 cents for Ondo, which under $1 is an absolute steal. We're not sponsored by Ondo, but if you don't hold Ondo, you need to go and look at it. You need to go and understand why Ondo is going to have a good bull run. It's not one of these ifs, buts, and maybes. It's already live. It's already processing. It's already got turnover. It has deep pockets, big connections. Some of its products, as well as being on Ethereum, have been ported over to the likes of Solana via Drift Protocol. They are embedded in the likes of Swarm that we've covered on here. So go and check out Ondo. Again, it's not a plug because we're not sponsored by them. But who we are sponsored by on the left is Mew. And we made a video about Mew yesterday explaining why we're so bullish. And that is pretty much every single exchange worth note has Mew on it. Now, they have spent 2 months adding themselves to multiple exchanges. We are very bullish on Mew, and for the record, we made videos about Mew before we were sponsored. So that's pretty much it for the start of the show. Don't forget to come back at 1 p.m. and watch me go through Tokay. That looks like a good project. And normally, I'm honest in my videos. I made a video about Marauder, I think it was, on Friday, and I said it was rubbish. And it was pretty much rubbish. Also, bottom left-hand corner, just under 155,500 fans. 155,500. We have come a long way in the few short years that we have been streaming. So please, if you are watching us for the first time, do me a favor, give us a follow. It doesn't cost you anything. And the goal of this channel is 200,000 followers by the end of 2024. Are we likely to get there? It's going to be touch and go. It's going to be touch and go. All depends if the markets pump and people watch us, then we will manage to do it. If not, then we won't. Good morning, Bullish Bull, Danny, In The Know, Rizal, Mags, Hidden Agendas. Good morning to you all. The poll question of the day. Can we break $62,000 and go higher today? 35% have said absolutely. 65% have said no, down we go again. We'll go through the charts and we'll have a quick look. But first, let's go and have a look at some prices. It's unusual to see Bitcoin above $60,000. It's coming in at $60,890. If you've watched me yesterday, Friday, Thursday, last week, you will know exactly why this is not bullish news. You will know why I am not jumping up and down, smoking a cigar, eating a Chinese for breakfast, you will know. For those of you that don't know, we're going to go and have a look at the Bitcoin chart in a bit, and you'll understand why this is not great news. Ethereum coming in at 26,665, BNB $567, Solana 147, XRP back above 60 cents. Gainers and losers over the last 24 hours. Brett, I told you yesterday. I said very clearly 3 meme coins: Brett, Popcat, and Mew. 35% up. Anything below 11 cents for Brett, you buy. Okay? It went down to, I think it was 8 cents, 7.5 cents yesterday. I told you it was a steal. I told you it was going to go back over $1 billion. It's back over $1 billion. Do not fade Brett. It is the biggest project on Base. Base and those associated with it are not going to let Brett fail. That is the difference. If it was on Solana, it would be a different conversation. If it was on AVAX or Cardano, different conversation. It's the #1 project on Base. Don't fade it. Now, I am not telling you it's going to go to $10 billion in the bull run. I certainly don't think it's got maybe a 25% chance of doing that. It's certainly go to 5 to 6 to 7 billion. So you're looking at a big gain on Brett. And for the record, I don't hold any. Dog with Hat is up again. Arve is up. Wormhole, FET is up. But again, we need to see more of a pump from FET than that. We need to be seeing FET upwards of $3, $4, $5. Good morning, Tariq. And indeed, hit the like button and say hello in chat. Join in. Pepe is up. Neo, Sui, Flocky, Beam. Lots of gainers today. And I imagine not too many losers. DYDX coming in at $1.10. We are going to have a look at that at the end of the show for Chevron, who is in chat. Litecoin is down $1. Of all the days when the markets are pumping, the 2 coins that are down are DYDX and, of course, Litecoin. Tariq will not be happy. $66 for Litecoin. Again, I'm not looking at all-time highs this bull run for Litecoin, which is about $350, $400. I think anywhere near $250 for Litecoin would be a good price in this bull run. That's a 4x from here. Again, it's a good return. It would put it also at about a $20 billion market cap. That's not bad going for Litecoin. And again, no more losers today because it's a green day. And we like green days. Market cap back up at 2.15 trillion. Volume, as I said yesterday, hasn't really kicked in. It's at 65 billion. Bitcoin dominance, ETH dominance still 71%. Hasn't moved. Not sure about the ETH gas at one Gwei. That's a little bit on the low side. And I am convinced that fear and greed index is broken. It seems to always be 46. I'm sure the fear and greed was down at 29 the other day and it never showed up. Don't know why, don't understand it. But it doesn't matter. We're going to move on very quickly. Also remember, very important, tomorrow night we have our big giveaway. We are going to be giving away $100 tomorrow night. We're going to be giving it away in 2 different tokens, Wolf and, no, sorry, not Wolf, Moon token, and we will be giving it away in FFTB, which is Fortune Favours the Brave. So tomorrow night, big night, biggest giveaway we've ever done, and we're going to give it away on the night. That is it. You are going to get it all. Right then, let's move on very quickly. Let's get through some of these. How will we ever know what is real? I've seen this a few days ago, and we're going to start to make a lot nicer thumbnails for this channel because we've got Grok AI, and Grok AI makes anything you want. And this is the latest iteration of AI. This is showing a Game of Thrones rave, all AI generated. You're starting to see AI generated adverts. You're starting to see everything being generated by AI. You are not going to be able to believe your eyes in the next 6 months because you are not going to know what is real and what is not real. Moving very swiftly on, and that's for good or bad. Bitcoin whales, specifically wallets holding between 100 and 1,000 Bitcoin, so the likes of Tariq out there, have accumulated 95,000 more coins in the last 6 weeks as price uncertainty has shaken many traders out of crypto. Key stakeholders are loading up. Can you see what they are doing? They are buying your Bitcoin. You, lettuce leaf hands, or was it lettuce hands yesterday, the guy called it. I like that comment, it's very true. Why are they buying at those prices, and why are you selling at those prices? Why are you selling your Bitcoin at $56,000, $58,000? Don't do it. Go every morning, you wake up, go to the mirror in your bathroom, look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am not going to sell my Bitcoin to a whale today. Hold your Bitcoin, hold the line, okay? You have a life-changing opportunity over the next 6 or 7 years to change your life forever, and potentially your children's and your grandchildren's lives. Now, I don't care what you do with meme coins and low cap alts. I don't care, okay? But with your Bitcoin, you treat it as it should be treated. Hold it dear to your heart, hold it safe, and don't sell it to the likes of BlackRock or Michael Saylor, okay? Michael Saylor is not your friend, okay? Nobody in this business is your friend. They are all out to get your Satoshis off you, okay? Don't let them have it. Now then, Ben Cowan, one of the crypto streamers that I watch on a regular basis, because he's pretty good at what he does and he's pretty accurate. Yes, of course he gets things wrong. Everybody does. Everybody's fallible. He put out a comment a few days ago. Bitcoin with another weekly close below its bull market support band. And then he puts up, it is honestly perplexing yet fascinating how posting a simple statement such as the one below triggers so many people. I put out long videos talking about this stuff and people act as if my only contribution to the discussion is the tweet they are responding to. And again, I think this is the society that we live in. We live in a society of sound bites. We live in a society of sensationalist headlines. Watch his videos, okay? Look at what he talks about. He doesn't tell you what you want to hear. He tells you what he thinks is going to happen, okay? If we move too far away from the bull market support band, guess what happens? We come crashing down. If we're in a bear market, he will tell you that Bitcoin dominance will go up. He will also tell you that Bitcoin dominance will start to break down with looser economic policy. He tells you what he thinks are facts. He doesn't tell you what you want to hear. If you want to listen to somebody that tells you what you want to hear, I am not the right person to listen to, and neither is Ben Cowan. And I am certainly not comparing myself to Ben Cowan. What I'm saying is I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're going to have a $150,000 Ethereum next year, okay? Ben Cowan won't do the same, but you will find people that do. And if that makes you sleep well at night, by all means. But before you say anything about Ben Cowan in a tweet that he puts out, do him the justice of actually watching his video and listen to what he has to say, okay? Don't just go off one sentence above a chart that he puts up. Listen to what he's got to say. You should listen to as many people as you can, and you have the time to listen to, and try and get everybody's point of view and help you to formulate your own opinion. Don't listen to, I don't know, crypto banter. Don't listen to crypto banter and take everything they say as gospel. Don't listen to Ben Cowan and take everything he says as gospel. Listen to a wide range of people and make your own conclusions. If I tell you that Ondo is the best coin since sliced bread and I keep buying it, okay, that doesn't mean you should go and put 100% of your portfolio into Ondo. It means you should go and look at it, understand where it makes money, which is key, understand why the price action might be a good time to buy, understand where you think it's going to go, and make your own conclusions. Watch some videos about Ondo. Anyway, 8 months ago, Argentinian President Javier Milei removed the rent control policies put in place by the prior leftist president. Since then, the supply of rental housing has skyrocketed by 195% in Buenos Aires, and the rental prices have plummeted. In other news, Kamala Harris has announced that she will impose rent control policies. What is going to happen if she does the two things that she wants to do? She wants to give everybody $25,000 to buy their first home. I will tell you now, the cost of starter homes in America will go up by $25,000 to $30,000 because everybody knows they now have $25,000 to spend. Point number one. Point number two, if you bring in price controls on products and those products don't make you a profit, you will stop making those products and those products will cost you more or will cease to be sold. If a loaf of bread costs you $2 to make and you sell it for $2.15 or $2.10, and she comes in and says you need to set the price at $1.90, number one, you will not sell bread anymore. And number two, the bakery will stop making the bread. That is what happens in a free market. Now, I am not saying she is right or wrong. I am just giving you the facts. Also, Argentina is not New York City. And of course, Buenos Aires is going to be cheaper to live in than New York City. So take some of these things with a pinch of salt, but understand the underlying principles of it. You can't have controls on prices. Where I live at the minute, there is a certain area which has rent controls. And that area is run down and nothing gets painted, nothing gets replaced, nothing gets renovated because the landlords don't have any money. And they don't have any money because the government has put rent controls in. You then go to an area where there's no rent controls. And yes, the rent is a lot higher. But guess what? Everything's painted, everything's brand new, all the appliances work, the flooring is new, the walls are painted, and there's fresh windows. You decide what kind of society you want. That is not for me to say. Now then, who is in chat? KB is in chat. Good morning, and Chris. I'll call you Diabetes here. Welcome to you all. Indeed, smash the like button. Now then, again, I covered this yesterday, and I know I covered this yesterday, but I want you to always try and have an alternative point of view. So if I come on here and say crypto gaming is bad, and I find an argument against that being a valid point and gaming is good, then I will always cover that article. And we covered this yesterday. This is the monthly returns of Bitcoin. I said to you, August and September are boring, they're rubbish, go to sleep, wake me up when September ends. Look at October, green column. November's 50-50, December 50-50. November a bit greener. So Dan Crypto posted this a few hours ago. Bitcoin has so far seen a return for August, which is pretty much in line with the last 2 years. Excuse me. September is, historically speaking, the worst month for Bitcoin, but was green last year. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in September because I don't have a crystal ball. But if I was a betting man, I would say 52 to 55,000 for September's lows. And again, we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart in a minute and why that price that we've gone to today isn't really great news. So for me, Bitcoin is going to have a red August. Rest of the month is going to be red for me. I think September is also going to be red. And I think October, which ties in with everything else, I think October is where we start to see a turnaround in the markets. And then finally, I have put a comment up. I have got my own tweet on my own show. Who would have thought that? I never do this. Politicians, I even made an image for it with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, both with a Bitcoin logo on, all made by Grok. Politicians need the Bitcoin vote, but Bitcoin does not need the politicians' vote. They are not the same. Now, we've had a government in America which has been anti-crypto for 3 or 4 years, and it hasn't got rid of Bitcoin. And nothing is ever going to get rid of Bitcoin in America unless they outright ban it, which is not likely to happen. What we're going to go through when we talk about Kamala Harris in a minute is, and I would say she's actively ignoring crypto at this point. But you can also say that Trump is actively ignoring it because he didn't include it in his agenda. He included the strategic reserve, but doesn't mention Bitcoin. So anyway, either way, Bitcoin doesn't need either of these two. I can't call them clowns because I don't think that's necessarily the right thing to call the future president of America. But I don't think either of them are qualified for the job. Now then, that has gone slightly wrong. Why has that not come up? Right, hang on one second. I'm never going to find this article, am I? What was this article about? Crypto missing. Let me just go and give this a search on Google and find this. There we go. Look at that. Crypto is missing for the Democrat Party platform as national convention kicks off. And I've seen a few clips from the convention. There's lots of people there, as you would expect when you have a paid audience, and Trump does the same thing. Biden was looking very confused. He had no idea where he was or where his ice cream was. And Kamala Harris published her agenda. Her policies were published. That was on Sunday. The platform appears to have not been updated since Kamala Harris took over as the Democrats' presumptive nominee. Right, here we go. The Democrat Party platform fails to mention crypto once as the party's national convention kicks off on Monday. How politicians view crypto could prove to be important. We know about this. Trump has also been involved. We know about his, his policy. He wants crypto. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but Cynthia Lummis does. And we are going to see Bitcoin as part of the strategic reserve in America if Trump wins. But we're not going to see anything from Kamala Harris. Now, this has been compounded by Kamala Harris. She's taken on board Mark Cuban as one of her spokespeople. But what is important to understand is I don't think she has the first idea or care about crypto. And that's fine. Crypto is not the most important thing in the world. There's 50 million people in America that hold crypto, however, and that's potentially 50 million votes, or 10 million votes, however you want to look at it. But what she's also planning to do, if she wins, is take Gary Gensler from the head of the SEC and making Gary Gensler the head of the Fed. She's going to make him the Fed chairman. Now, in one respect, that's good because he's gone from the SEC. But in another respect, he's going to be replacing Chairman Powell, who I don't mind Jerome Powell. I think he's done a fine job. Yes, he's slow, but it's the American economy. The American economy doesn't move at 100 miles an hour. It moves at 20 miles an hour. I've always compared them to the Ents in Lord of the Rings. They just take years to make decisions, and when they do, they're never as far as we want. The rate cut that we're going to see in September, I guarantee you, is 0.25%. It will not be 0.5%, which is what we want. It will always be the least amount possible. So Kamala Harris has no interest in crypto. She's just not going to go along that path. And if she wins, we could be in for another very tough few months. We could be in for a very tough 4 years, should I say. Not even a few months, a tough few years. But we've been there before. If anybody thinks we've had an easy 3.5 years, we certainly haven't. And the other question to ask Kamala Harris is, she's talking about all of these policies that she wants to bring in to cut debt, sort the border out, all of these things. But she's been the vice president for 3.5 years. Why hasn't she sorted this out in 3.5 years? Because it's all words. Obviously, as I say, when a politician's lips move, you know they're not telling the truth. Right then, why am I not super bullish on Bitcoin? Because of what we spoke about yesterday. Yes, we've had this channel, and we're in this channel, and I was expecting us to break down and be at 56,000 today, and look at where we are. We're at 60,900. And look where that white line is. It's probably not even in the right place, to be honest. I think we should probably move it up to about there. So 61,244 on the daily is the bottom of the bull market support band. And up here we have 64,000 pretty much dead on. Now, I'm not expecting anything other than a repeat of this. Every time we come up and we wick into it, what do? we come down. We come down here. 1, 2, 3. We didn't even get there. 4. So what do you think we're going to do now? I think we are going to come straight down to $56,000. And that doesn't sound very good, does it, when we're at 61,000? But we haven't broken it. We haven't broken it the same way we haven't broken it the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Are we going to say 6 times a charm? I don't think we are. I think we're going to come back down again. And that's why I'm not bullish. Until we break 61, until we break above 64, we are below the bull market support band. And that is like being trapped under a sheet of ice. And every time we try and break through the sheet of ice, we will keep coming down. And until I am proven wrong, and that is a very good chance that it happens today, and we do go to 62, 63,000. But until we do, we're coming down. And it's all well and good wicking, but we need to wick and hold and then move up. Because if we don't, we're straight back to 56,000. Now, I might sound like a Debbie Downer, but I don't see how we're going to do it if we can't break 61,250. Today, we got as high as, what's that? 61.4. 61.4. It's not there. It's not there. We're still stuck below it. I wouldn't be longing today. Put it that way. I wouldn't be longing today. Now, two bits of news that we kind of covered yesterday. The first one is on Friday, Chairman Powell speaks. So Friday is going to be high volatility. Probably not a good idea to use leverage on Friday. But on Wednesday, we have the Fed meeting notes coming out. That's tomorrow. The Fed meeting notes come out tomorrow. That's going to be interesting to see. Where are we going to go? Ideally, need a daily close above 61.8 for a change in the flow. Yeah, I mean, I don't see it though. I don't see it. There's nothing in the pipeline that tells me that we're going to move up at this stage. I think we've still got 6 weeks to go before we start to move. I think maybe 5 weeks, but 5 to 6 weeks. Right then, now again, we need to take these things with a pinch of salt, because Bitcoin is proof of work, and we're all looking for a way to tap into the liquidity of Bitcoin without putting our Bitcoin at risk. And that's difficult because Bitcoin is proof of work. So self-custodial Bitcoin staking protocol Babylon announces mainnet. Babylon is a self-custodial Bitcoin staking protocol and has announced the launch of its Phase 1 mainnet as it eyes the growing decentralized finance market on the leading blockchain network. In an announcement on Monday, the protocol revealed its mainnet launch will go live on August the 22nd, which is Thursday. The first phase of the mainnet will allow Bitcoin holders to stake their coins with the self-custodial protocol. Interesting. Upcoming phases will see the Bitcoin protocol allow proof-of-stake networks to tap into the $1 trillion Bitcoin network securely. Projects that can gain access to and utilize this ecosystem include Layer 2 chains, data availability layers, and oracles. This launch leads to the third native use case of Bitcoin, the asset beside value storage and simple payment, stake to secure networks and earn. We expect this to enhance the crypto economic security of proof-of-stake chains and other decentralized applications, offering them a more secure and reliable infrastructure, while at the same time unlocking the value from the idle, unencumbered 1 trillion Bitcoin ecosystem. The announcement comes after the platform raised $70 million in a funding round. Now, also, something to bear in mind with stuff like this. Whenever you see stuff like this, whenever you see a proof of stake, or whenever you see staking, or whenever you see yields and it's to do with Bitcoin, you need to treat that with absolute care, because I don't trust any of them, okay? I do like Zeus, and Zeus is trying to connect Solana up to Bitcoin. I do like the idea, and Charles Hoskinson talked about it probably a year or so ago now, about using one coin on one blockchain to help secure another chain. And at the time he was talking about using Cardano to earn yield, and I don't know what the other chain was, I can't remember now, but let's call it Solana. So you would stake your ADA, and that ADA would help to secure the Solana blockchain. So technically it's possible. If you can do this with self-custody, so you keep hold of your Bitcoin, but that Bitcoin can earn you a yield on another blockchain without any threat whatsoever to your Bitcoin, then that's something that we need to keep an eye on. But also we need to leave it for a few months, a good few months, to make sure there's no vulnerabilities. So even if this launches on Thursday, you shouldn't be going near it, in my opinion, for at least 3 to 6 months, because any vulnerability in this is going to cause you to lose your Bitcoin, in my opinion. However, it's something I'm very interested in. I do like the idea of earning yield from my Bitcoin, but so does everybody. But then again, you know, you look at gold. How do you earn yield from gold? Great difficulty. So if Bitcoin is a store of value, maybe it should remain as a store of value. However, we should always keep our options open, and maybe it's something that we look at in the near and distant future. Now then, let us move on super quickly because we don't have an awful lot of time, and I am streaming again at 1 o'clock. So Polygon, I made mention of this a couple of weeks ago. Polygon's token is called Matic, okay? It is going to change on September the 4th to POL. So that is 2 weeks away. 2 weeks and a day from now, your Polygon will go from Matic to POL. This upgrade marks the beginning of a major evolution for the Polygon network, introducing POL as the new native token for gas fees and staking on the Polygon POS network. It's a community-driven token designed to replace Matic and will be central to the future's growth. The shift will be detailed in the Polygon improvement proposal and has garnered strong support from the community. I've seen a few people that I follow that I haven't seen for a while, actually. I don't know where they've gone. Maybe they've blocked me, who knows. They've been talking about this for a very long time. And I'm a big fan of Matic. I'm a big fan of what they've built in terms of their network of connected companies. I'm a big fan of the project and the team. I'm a big fan of the ag layer, and I've had Matic, I don't know, maybe four years, I don't know, maybe about 4 years. I like the project. It's being cannibalized at the minute by all the other layer 2s, but it doesn't mean I'm going to stop liking it. It's expected to be highly versatile, applicable across all of its chains, including the ag layer, and that's the key. So what the ag layer is, and I've said this thousands of times, it allows sovereign blockchains to share pooled liquidity. That's it. And it uses atomic swaps to swap between the different chains. And they don't have to be layer 2s. They don't have to all be on Ethereum. They can be on different chains. So POL is needed. Probably from a technical perspective, POL is needed to be able to make this change possible. So it's going to happen. It's going to become POL from Matic. And again, you will still earn your proof of stake yields from it. But again, I'm giving you a heads up. If you log in 3 weeks' time to your exchange and you see POL and you have no idea what that is, that's your Matic that's been swapped. And I imagine that you will not have to do an awful lot. I imagine most of the exchanges, excuse me, most of the exchanges will carry out the swap automatically for you. I've still got this issue that I've got with ASI tokens, the artificial super intelligence tokens. They're still not updated on my account that I've got on some of my exchanges. It's still listed as SFET. So I don't know what's going on there. That should have been weeks ago, maybe even a month ago now. So who knows what's going on. Moving swiftly on, I am trying to make room at the end of the stream to go and have a look at BYDX. So that is something I am trying to get to. Cardano's ADA plummets out of the top 10 crypto. Is the token losing its edge? And again, this is one of those real arguments that we're seeing on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. CT, I think it's called nowadays. So if we scroll down here, Cardano is 11th. It's not 11th because you don't count USDC and you don't count USDT, so it's 9th. Either way, it's still fallen. Tron has got some huge updates coming, and I tell you that I base my opinion on the facts that I have beforehand. I think I might have to pivot on Tron. I'm not a massive fan of Tron, and I never have been. I've held Tron in the past, and I haven't liked it because of various reasons. But the way Justin Sun is talking, the fact that Tron is heading towards all-time highs, the fact that they are talking to meme coin creators, the fact they're talking about a gasless stable coin on the Tron blockchain, I think it may start to look like a very decent proposition. And Justin Sun was only talking about this in the last 24 hours. This is new news. We covered the news about the gasless stablecoin. That was a couple of weeks ago. So I'm starting to think that I need to revisit Tron. But for all the time that I've been using Tron, I've never seen it more than a transaction coin that I send my funds from one exchange to another really quickly, and I do it on Tron. So I need to go and have a revisit because I think Tron could be a decent bet for the bull run, which I wouldn't have said a month ago. So Cardano has dropped to 11th. It's coming in at 34 cents. It's still got a $12.4 billion market cap, so it's not dead. However, it's lost a considerable portion of its value, has fallen out of the top 10. Currently standing at 11th. Previously, ADA enjoyed consistent growth. It has faced several challenges. It's fallen, what was it, up at $3.10 or something like that. It came all the way down, I think it was under, was it down to 20 something cents at the bottom of the bear market? We don't need to know about it. We know Charles is in charge of it. Dominance is only 0.3%. Again, Bitcoin is eating up all the dominance at the minute. But in 2021, so just to give you an idea, 3 years ago, it was at 77 billion. Today, it's at 12. So to get back to where it was, it needs to do a 6x. That would put it at $2. Okay? I still think Cardano is a $3 to $5 token in the bull run, and it will run late, as it always does. It's on the verge of its anticipated hard fork, which is Chang, that Charles is going around promoting at the minute. It's expected to help revitalise its ecosystem and add value to the cryptocurrency. It remains to be seen how ADA will adapt. We're going to have a look at the token, but I just want to point a few things out for me. Toncoin, for me, I don't know why it's 8th. Okay, I don't know why it's suddenly got a $17 billion market cap. It is the token associated with Telegram, we know, but I'm not necessarily a huge fan of it. Tron and Toncoin have both kind of leapfrogged Cardano. Tron is having a run, so it's on bullish news. We've seen this before with Solana. Solana has a run. It gets to 85 billion. It flips BNB. It becomes the third biggest cryptocurrency. I tell you that it's now the third biggest cryptocurrency, and then Solana falls back into the pack. I'm expecting one of Ton or Tron to fall back into the pack and Cardano to move back into the top 10. Again, we're not saying Cardano was never higher than 8th. Okay? Never higher than 8th. Or XRP, Solana, BNB, they've always been there in the last 3 or 4 years. So we're not talking about a drop from 3rd. We're talking about a drop from 8th and 9th down to 11th. It slipped 2 spots. What Cardano has to be very careful of is having a Litecoin moment and really falling away. Litecoin will still have a good bull run, as lots of coins will, but we don't want to see Cardano down with the likes of Bitcoin Cash and Polkadot and Unis. I mean, you've got other coins in there. You've obviously got Chainlink. That's probably going to have a good run. AVAX is going to have a good run. SHIB will, Near will. But just be careful. I don't think Cardano is as bad as people make out. The community is massive. That's a big thing. Remember when Solana was getting absolutely trashed by everybody? It was at $8 and $9 and $10. The community stayed, and now it's going on a run. Cardano's got a huge community and a huge group of people that believe in it, and that will go a long way. I see more people talking about Cardano than I do about Tron, Doge, Toncoin, even to some respects XRP. So Cardano has the community, and that means more than most things. And again, I also made the point of pointing out a few weeks ago that there have been several hit pieces written about Cardano this year. And I also alluded to the fact that this happened about CZ a few years ago. So there's hit pieces written about coins they may want to knock out of the top 10 or depress in value so they can buy them up. I don't know. Good morning, Solo Sky. I've just seen you. Right then. So what are we looking at for Cardano? Let's move this down a little bit. Again, we are in the hit zone for Cardano. That's the zone where the price, in my opinion, is traditionally the best place to get it, in the red zone, 34 cents. But as I have mentioned several times, it needs to get back towards 50 cents. But before we do any of that, we're going to have our own crossover here. So we need to really, let's talk about where we could get to. 42 cents. That's a 20% move for Cardano. That will probably come with the Chang hard fork. We're in this downward channel all of this period over here. Then we had some bullish news about Cardano and it started to break up. But as with all things, when Bitcoin decided to dump, it pushed Cardano all the way down here. Now we are starting to see the shoots of recovery. And if we don't tank to $52,000 to $55,000 for Bitcoin, then we need to be looking at 42 cents for Cardano and then 50 cents. So all is not lost for Cardano. I'm still not overly bearish on Cardano. I think it's doing exceptionally well. Anyway, we're going to move on because, as I said, we're going to try and look at DYDX at the end. And we're going to do that as quick as humanly possible. Let's have a look. There we go. Chainlink. Another one of my solid picks. It's never going to rip up trees. It's never going to do a 50x, but it's a solid project. I've spent a lot of time looking at this project. I'm massively bullish on the project. It is boring. It's nothing sexy about Chainlink, okay? But there is nothing sexy about recycling. There is nothing sexy about a storeroom, okay? But those things make money. And Chainlink, by very definition of its name, it does what it says on the can. It is a link. It connects off-chain to on-chain. It's an oracle. It provides data feeds. It provides CCIP, so it allows money to be sent securely across different chains. Chainlink is a token you need to look at and consider for the bull run. Now, it's at $10. I think that's a really good price to get Chainlink at. It has been as high recently as about $20, so you're getting it at 50% off. Link has traded within a horizontal channel since August the 6th. This is formed when assets price move within a range for some time. Chainlink is known for doing this. The upper line of this channel forms resistance, the lower forms support. We know that. The sideways movement happens when there is a relative balance between buying and selling pressure. This can be gleaned from Link's flat relative strength index. As of writing, the RSI is 40 and has remained flat since it pretty much has. On-chain data from Sentiment shows the daily transaction volume in profit is lower than in loss, with a ratio of 0.76 based on the 30-day moving average. This means that for every transaction resulting in a loss, only 0.76 transactions yield a profit. There we go. For Link buyers looking to trade against the market, the ongoing price consolidation has presented a buying opportunity. Link's market value to realized value, the MV-RV ratios assessed over different moving averages have flashed buy signals. At press time, the token's 30-day and 90-day ratios are -10 and -22. Very quickly then, as I said, I'm going to try and get to her. It has no. The thing is, when you look at where projects move within the market, you need to look at them relative to each other. So if Bitcoin drops from 72,000 to 60,000, let's call it a 18% drop. Bitcoin goes down 18%, everything else follows. Now, Solana has gone from 85,000 to 53,000. That is a 30% drop. Cardano hasn't dropped 30% in the time that Solana has. So when you compare the pairs, it's not about whether it's lost value, it's gone from 40 cents to 32 cents. It's how is it done in comparison to everything else? And in comparison to everything else, it's dropped about the same amount. The reason we're seeing this is Tron is going on a pump, because Tron is releasing, as I said, the gasless stable coin. It's got meme coins coming over to Tron. Tron is starting to look sexy. And Toncoin, I think, is overinflated. So those two things have outperformed the market as a whole. ADA has performed pretty much the same as the market. The same as BNB. BNB hasn't outperformed Solana. Solana has retraced. So it's not a case of it's lost money in comparison to everything else. It's lost momentum compared to Ton and Tron. There's a bit of a difference. It's a bit nuanced. Right then, so if I very quickly drag this, you can see we haven't looked at this for a long time. Link is coming in and it's sitting pretty much on here. Now, the only problem we've got with this is, of course, when you see things like this, this never looks good. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. Okay? But it's a buying opportunity. That's the way I look at this market. As I said at the start of the stream, I'm picking up the coins that I don't have enough of. And that's NEAR. That's Ondo. I've bought some Swarm, which I told you all about. I've got enough Link and Cardano, but if I didn't, I would be waiting for a move into that range there. Now, I'm not saying it's going to arrive. It might not happen. But this, which is between about $7 and $10, is a good range. How do we know we're going to get down there? I would say if we break this $9.50 line. So if you look there, that has been solid. And it's been solid for the 4 days that it bounced off it. So for me, if we break below 950, that's time to go buying Chainlink. On the upside, it needs to get probably back above $13.80, but it's still a good price. $10.50, $9.50, $8.50, anything in that range is the good chance to buy, but I think we could see that based on that. So Chainlink, again, it could go lower. Hedge your bets. Have a look at Chainlink. If you haven't got enough, go and have a look at it. The same with a lot of the coins that we've mentioned today. Go and have a look at them. Make your own opinion up. Now then, the last article, we've got 10 minutes to go, and I am going to go and look at DYDX. It's done it again. Why does it keep breaking? Let's go and see if we can find the original article. There we go. This might be this one. So tokenized real-world assets are a $30 trillion opportunity. High net worth individuals and private equity funds will drive adoption, says Colin Butler. Tokenized real-world assets are a $30 trillion market, Polygon's global head of institutional capital has said in an interview. Adoption will largely be driven by high net worth individuals, dramatically increasing portfolio allocations to alternative assets, such as private credit, as tokenization brings liquidity and accessibility to illiquid asset classes. We talk a lot about our good friends, BlackRock, don't we? And we say, what are they trying to do? What is BlackRock trying to do with the world? BlackRock is trying to tokenize it. Is it doing it for your benefit? No, it is not. It is doing it because stock markets only work between 8:30 and 4:30 Monday to Friday. They don't match up. So the American market opens when the UK market closes. The American market closes when the Asian markets open. There is no overlap. Okay? So it's a that's not quite a Victorian, but it's a primitive way of trading. In this day and age where music, films, books, 24/7 online banking, crypto, everything is digitized. The old guard, the finance, isn't. Now, what makes it difficult is onboarding you. So if Tariq's got $100,000 and he wants to invest in a property fund in New York, for example, he can't do it because the minimum investment will be $500,000. The reason it's $500,000 is the onboarding of Tariq, the paperwork, everything associated with it is a pain in the backside. Now, what BlackRock can do is they can digitize and tokenize that fund and create digital synthetic versions of the share, or even create a different share altogether. They could buy $100 million of the New York fund and then create an online version through Ondo, for example, where you can go and buy these shares for $1. Now, that value of $1 in time will hopefully go up $1.10, $1.20. Maybe there's a dividend to be paid. BlackRock get their cut. Maybe they're taking 20% of the profits. They're happy with their money. And Tariq has access to a market that he couldn't get access to. Yes, it's a minefield when it comes to things like paperwork. Maybe Tariq's in a jurisdiction where he can't buy these tokenized assets. But those things are simple to sort out and sort out. So BlackRock are moving down this path, and you can see why. If there's 300 trillion in global assets, 100 trillion are owned by individuals with big net worths. You can tap into all of these other people. In the future, and probably not too far off, you're going to have JP Morgan, private banker, and he'll say, I see you have zero allocated to this. I'd recommend more like an endowment model of 20%. If you extrapolate that 20% to everybody else, it's a $30 trillion opportunity. Approximately $9 billion has been invested in tokenized private credit instruments so far, according to RWA XYZ, which we've covered on here before. That figure is set to grow dramatically as large funds come on board. The big examples so far are KKR, which was the first on Avalanche, Hamilton Lane, Brevin Howard. These are all tokenized on Polygon. The heads of digital at these places, they're thinking this way. If a private equity company with 500 billion AUM is modeling raising 500 billion more in the next 5 years, their 10% growth or 50 billion from this vertical. Excluding stablecoins, then 11.6 billion in tokenized RWAs are currently held on blockchain networks. We're going to see an awful lot more. Okay, this is one of the big moves in crypto. So if you missed out on Bitcoin, if you missed out on Ethereum, if you missed out on Solana, and you want to get into a market which is still underdeveloped, then you want to go, is this the last article? Perfect, I've still got 5 minutes, right. You want to go and look at real world assets. Now, again, not sponsored. Do I hold some RWA tokens? Yes, I do, but I would imagine most people do. So these are all of the blockchains and projects associated with real world assets. Now, it doesn't mean they're all in as deep as everything else, okay? It means that they are associated with real world assets. So you have Chainlink that we talked about before. We have Ondo, I talked about. We have Mantra coming in at 90 cents. Again, in my video, I said 90 cents, 80 cents is the price to be buying Mantra. Down at 89 cents, it's in the zone to buy. Synthetics create synthetic versions of stocks. We've also covered smaller projects on here. The smallest project, the one that I actually bought into, and there's plenty more on here, by the way. I'm trying to think if I can see any of the names of the ones we like. Where are all the coins that we've covered? Goldfinch and Maple. we've covered both of them. They are good looking projects, but again, I'm not going to highlight them too much because they're very small micro caps. And then the big one that we like is Swarm Markets, $30 million. Listen, I'm not paid by Swarm. I've never talked to them before. I found them by sheer accident. They're based in Germany. They are regulated and they are going to do really well. Swarm is my pick, but there are other picks. You can go down and look at many of these other tokens. Ribbon Finance, a lot of people like that. Trying to think of who else is on here that people like. TrueFi, Venus, some people like. So there's lots of real world asset tokens to go and look at. And again, it's an undertapped market. If I'm showing you a top 10 list of projects and they're all in their 5s and 10 billions, then you've probably missed the boat on them as well. You know, you've only got, according to this list, 4 1 billion plus tokens, and then Ondo would make it 5. So for me, it's still an untapped market. It's still a market you should go and look at and do some research. Now, DYDX. The issues I have with DYDX mainly come down to this. This we covered in May. Now, a bit of a background to Antonio Giuliano. He worked at a very large crypto exchange and he left. And he set up DYDX. And in the last bull run, DYDX did more turnover than the company that he left 12 months before. He stepped down as the CEO. Ivo Krnkovic-Rubsamin takes over, and Giuliano will become the chairman and president. There he is. So the founder of DYDX is stepping down. He is responsible for building the platform. He'll become the chairman, and another chap will take over. I will always be the leader of DYDX, he said in the post, but he also cautioned, I have no idea what comes next for me. Now, the issue is, with DYDX, is there are projects which are wholly connected to their founder, and it's a flaw. Now, if I said to you, Bitcoin, there's no head, Satoshi doesn't exist. So Bitcoin is autonomous to some degree. If I said to you, Ethereum, what would you say? You would say Vitalik and his Pikachu outfits. If I said to you Cardano, you would say Charles. What's the issue with having a head? The issue is that hit pieces can be written. Vitalik has been attacked. CZ has been attacked. Charles Hoskinson has been attacked. It gives people a focal point for both positive and negative press. The day that Vitalik steps down from Ethereum, it is going to be a black swan day for Ethereum because the project is tied to him. Cardano is different because Charles knows this. So when the Chan card fork goes live, the control of the Cardano treasury is handed over to the DAO, and Charles will have no more say in it. He has signposted his step down. Who's done it better, Charles or Vitalik? Charles, clearly, because Vitalik goes, everybody's going to see that as massively negative. It's going to dump the price of Ethereum. When you have a cult leader in charge of something, when they go, it leaves a void. And DYDX was set up specifically as a decentralized exchange to do things the way that Antonio wanted them to work, outside of the constraints of the centralized exchange he worked at. Now, he's becoming the CEO, the chairman. He's going to step down from the day-to-day running of the project. Okay, fine, he's probably still going to be involved, but he's not, is he? He isn't. He's going to step down. So if there are emergencies, if there's problems, it's not him anymore. It's not his baby, and he's gone. And no matter what people say, he will probably not be the CEO or the chairman in 2 or 3 years' time, because this is probably an exit for him. Now, I'm trying to bring up some price action of DYDX so we can show you what has happened. So since the bull run, which we're not even going to look at the bull run, since the bull run, this price has broken down and has now formed an all-time low. Actually, let me do that properly. It's reached the lowest it's been at in 2.5 years. So we've just had a massive bull run, or beginnings of a bull run, tying in to Bitcoin. It's ran up to $4.30, $4.40. It's now down 80%. Okay, it's come crashing down. It's broke straight through its support band. It's come down, it's come down, it's come down, and it's bounced. Now, we are back to where we were at the beginning of last year. So 18 months later, we're back where we were. With all the bullish news, with Bitcoin going from 15,000 to 75,000 pretty much, a 5x, DYDX is back at $1. It's not good. However, the way to look at this is DYDX makes money in a real bull run. The same way Uniswap, the same way Radium, Orca, Aero, they will make their money in the bull run. When is the bull run? The bull run is likely to be somewhere in there. Okay, so what is a likely scenario for DYDX? Well, it rattles around, gets towards the end of the year, Bitcoin starts to pump and it starts a recovery. Then maybe we have a little bit of a correction moving into January and February, and then the second leg of the bull run begins, and then DYDX will start to do this. You'll start to see articles about how DYDX has done $1 billion in transactions in the last 24 hours. It will then enter, after Bitcoin, it will then enter its blow off top, probably run up somewhere up here, and then in the bear market which follows, it will probably come straight back to where it was. So that's my story for DYDX. The founder has gone. He stepped down from the day-to-day running. There also, and I don't have time to go through this because it's 5 past, but there's also been a big unlock, and there are big unlocks. In fact, have I got it on here? Token unlocks. Let's very quickly show you this. Chevron is an OG, so we spend time on our OGs, whether it be Chevron, whether it be Reza, whether it be Kishan, Chris, any of the other ones. We try and spend some time on them because they were here when nobody else was, when there was 20 of us. Right, where is the am I not allowed to see the DYDX token unlocks? Let's try that again. Does that take, there we go, okay. So this is DYDX coming in at $1. Is this going to show me any of the information I need to see? Or is it just slow? What's going on? Go back. Right, let's try again. Maybe I just need to be a little bit more patient and wait for it to load. Or is it just not going to load? Okay, well, maybe I'm not able to see it because I'm not a member. But so there's 17% of the token locked. There is 58% unlocked. But I do believe that they unlock an awful lot every month or so. So I think the problem for me is that over the next year or so, the emissions are just going to continue. Yeah, I can't see it. But anyway, go and check out. It's called Token. I'll drop the link into Telegram. That's what I'll do. I'll put this link into Telegram. You can go and check it out. Go and create an account. I'm not associated with them. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not going to make any money out of it. It doesn't matter. It's called Token Unlocks. And you can go and keep an eye on what gets unlocked every week. And we signposted Arbitrum. That had a 74% unlock, something crazy. But it gives you the breakdown. So you can see what's getting unlocked over the next few days. So you can see the up and coming unlock. You see how much it is. So you can see DYDX in 11 days is going to unlock 3.6%. So that might push the price down even further. Other noticeable ones on here, Optimism is always doing unlocks. SUI, 2.5%. Again, this is inflation. Over time, this is going to drop the value of the token. But anyway, I need to go because Tariq, of course I mention you. You don't need mentioning because you are one of the OGs. Now, I'm back in 55 minutes time with a stream about, let me just show you what I'm going to be covering on the stream. Let me get the link up. This is what I'm going to be talking about at 1 o'clock. It's going to be 1 o'clock or 1:30, depending on if I can get the stream set up in time. It's already set up in one place, I just need to set up another place. Right, so this is the next review that we're going to do. It is called Tokai. So we'll call it Toki on the stream. This is the new token, which is, it's basically TikTok on Solana. That's about as much as you need to know. I'm going to go through everything, the white paper, I'm going to go through the roadmap. It looks okay. I mean, as I said at the start of the show, the project I reviewed on Friday was a train wreck. I wouldn't have touched it with a barge pole. But this actually looks okay. I'm going to have a look at it. Again, I think it might come down to adoption. Maybe the token doesn't get adopted. Maybe the project doesn't get adopted. I'm going to go and have a look at it anyway in an hour. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Tariq. Thank you, Kishan, everybody else for coming. I'll see you all in 50 minutes time. Oh, before I go, one last thing. Can we break $62,000 and go higher today? 50% yes, 50% no. Well, look at that. That is in the balance, isn't it? Right, see you all in an hour.